Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are finally putting together Kingpin from the latest Marvel Legends wave of action figures. We have here all the figures needed in this wave to complete the Kingpin Build-A-Figure. The 6-armed Spider-Man is not shown here because he does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece, but we have Black Cat with an arm, Puma with a torso, the Symbiote Spider-Man coming with the 2 heads, Night Thrasher with a leg, Silver Sable coming with the other arm, and then Red Goblin coming with the other leg. But enough about that, let's go ahead and get this put together and take a look at Kingpin. And go ahead and just start with the legs here. I will point out that the leg ports are going to be the same size on both the left leg and the right leg, so you are going to want to make sure that you have that lined up appropriately, or at least rather have the correct leg. And then the arms, of course, are pretty self-explanatory as far as the left and the right. No questions on that. We'll get that other arm ported in. There we go. And let's go with the standard expression, shall we? There we go. Very cool. And here is Kingpin all put together. And I gotta say, I'm really excited to get this figure. I've had an opportunity to pick up some of the Toy Biz era Kingpin figures, and I just never did because they never really, I didn't care for them. I didn't think they looked all that great. But this guy, wow, I think he looks awesome. And the size and everything is just, it's what I would expect from a Kingpin figure, and I love that it's a Build-A-Figure version as opposed to a standard in-box figure that we would normally get. Speaking of his size, this particular figure comes in at about 7.5 inches tall, which puts him right at about 19 centimeters. So very good size for him. It's, like I said, what I would expect. Kingpin has always been portrayed as very tall. He does come with that one accessory, his cane, so let's get a closer look at that, and then we'll get a closer look at the other alternate head and the rest of Kingpin. And we can see Kingpin's cane here, and really the big part is that jewel at the top, which came out looking actually really neat. I like some of the design on it. You get some really well sculpted facets in that. It looks like even a little air bubble might be trapped in there. Yeah, that's kind of neat. But yeah, pretty cool. Going throughout the rest of the cane, so you get a little bit of gold paint there, and then just black going down. And mine, looking at it, you can see it's a little bit bent, so I'll probably try to see if I can apply some heat and straighten that out. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty cool looking cane. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kingpin now. So starting first here with that calm head sculpt, we can see, I think it's just really well done. It looks really good, very basic, and it looks like Kingpin, who's just, like I said, running his empire. Not a whole lot of paint required. We get those blue eyes and the gray eyebrows, and then you can even see, though, like he's got the crow's feet there sculpted in, all the subtle wrinkles in his forehead throughout. Very well done. I like that a lot, actually. And the back of his head and top of his head obviously is just bald. Looks like he's got a little scratch there. But man, yeah, it looks really good. And they did a lot of details. You can really see just those finer, again, lines and things like that and wrinkles throughout. So very, very cool. Let's go ahead and swap real quick. I'm going to put on the Shadow King head sculpt that came with the Professor X, and then we'll swap out his mean head sculpt and take a look at that. And here is that Shadow King head sculpt. So again, this does not come in this wave. In order to get this head sculpt, you do have to get the Professor X Ultimate Riders figure that just came out. I just reviewed it not too long ago, so I want to make sure that is clear. But I did want to take a look at this head sculpt when I put the Kingpin Build-A-Figure together, because obviously that is who it was meant for. And again, we can just see some really well done design. I love the use of the paint lines there for the wrinkles, and we can lift his glasses up, and we can see, again, just lines around the eyes, and those red eyes just looking very cool. And I love the subtle shading and transition that we get going from that gray face into the back of the head. That just, man, looks awesome. And looking even like around his chin and everything here again, we can see just all those sculpted designs and things like that just came out looking very cool. Man, yeah, I like that a lot. And to kind of let you see it sort of further back, there you go. And yeah, I think that just looks awesome. But let's go ahead and put on now the Angry Kingpin head sculpt and continue on. And checking out the last of the head sculpts here, we can see the angry Kingpin, and man, that just looks awesome. So all those wrinkles and sculpted lines that we saw in the calm face, we can just see animated here in that furrowed brow, and it even looks like they sculpted they sculpted a vein popping out of his forehead. That is awesome. Really, really makes you just get a sense that he is just attacking and taking out whoever's in his path. And again, we can see his double chin there, and you got some veins popping on the side of his temple. That's a really great attention to detail there, because those are very subtle, and they came out looking awesome. So I love that. And then even looking at his mouth, you can see that with the open mouth, they actually have a piece so that with the open jaw, we actually get all the way back there to the back of his mouth. So a lot of attention to detail on that design. So kudos to Hasbro for making it look that good. And the paintwork came out fine on there too. Looking at the rest of the figure, so I like we get the purple tie with the black shirt underneath, and then of course he has the white suit on. The buttons came out looking very cool. Looks like they're little stars. Well, that's just a button, but that one looks like it's meant to be a little bit more. He's got his pocket square there, and the rest of him is just a big white suit, and I think it looks really good. He's actually, I don't know how well we're coming out here, if this is just too overexposed, but he's got the buttons on his cuffs coming out good. His fisted hand, I love it. We get the big pinky ring there, so that came out looking good. I have a little bit of red paint on one of his knuckles, but we'll just pretend that's blood, and I think I can live with that. Little miss there on the gold, but otherwise not bad. And then he has, of course, his gripping hand for either holding that cane or if he's attacking someone. And I love that we can see, too, the black shirt underneath continuing on there right at the base of the jacket sleeve. So I think that is cool. And sculpted buttons there. Looks like those ones have that little star pattern. So I like that. And then going down, and this coat can come off if need be, and you can see he's got quite the round belly underneath there. But if you take this coat off, it's not going to look right because he's still going to have the white sleeves of the jacket, so that'll be kind of odd. But then looking at the legs, I love that we got the pleats going down there in the front. I like that, and you can see just, the creases there, the seam. Very well done. And then, of course, he has some very expensive shoes on. And I love the details in the shoes, too. Like, they are made to look like they are very, very expensive Italian leather. So, yeah, I like that a lot. Looking at his articulation, all the heads can turn side to side. Bury his chin, not too bad. He can look up, not great. His arms do come up quite a ways, but just be careful in case you do end up popping them out. But obviously, he's a Build-A-Figure, so that's not a big deal. But they do come up quite a ways. Full rotation. He does only have a single jointed elbow, and it does have rotation at the elbow, and unfortunately you don't get a whole lot of range of motion out of that elbow, which is a little bit of a downer. But he does have a hinge and rotation on each of the hands. He does have this diaphragm joint here, which it does do side to side without any issue there, and if you really kind of push it, you do get a little bit forward and push it back a little bit as well. And I know it's kind of hard to see with that coat on, but you can see how it is sticking out just a little bit. You can probably do like some angled down type poses there, so that's not bad. He doesn't have any other kind of waist articulation. His legs do not come far apart very much. They don't kick forward very far, backwards very far, but he does have an upper thigh cut, which is actually technically where you put the legs on. He does have a single jointed knee, which does have rotation at the knee, but you'll be able to tell how it is meant to be lined up there with that. And again, you don't have a whole lot of range of motion there. And then he does have, let's see, I thought he had a hinge under these feet. Yeah, it's there. It's a light hinge. And then he does have some ankle pivot in there as well. So it's just a little stiff and a little tough to get to with the leg there. And for a quick size comparison, we have Kingpin here standing next to the Rhino Build-A-Figure, and you can see that they are right about the same size. So, again, the scale on Kingpin is just awesome, and I think they did a really good job there. And just for fun, here is Kingpin standing next to a couple of WWE figures I picked up. I really only picked these guys up because they look like bodyguards. They even got the earpieces in. I don't really watch wrestling anymore, so I'm not even sure who these guys are, but I actually think this looks really good with Kingpin, and I'm probably going to have them displayed with him like this. And finally, we have all the figures in this wave standing next to each other, starting at the left with Puma, followed by Black Cat, Silver Sable, the Kingpin Build-A-Figure, Night Thrasher, the Six-Armed Spider-Man, the Symbiote Spider-Man, and Red Goblin. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And overall, I am very happy with this Build-A-Figure. Kingpin has been a figure that I have wanted for some time, as I mentioned, and to get a really good Kingpin is just awesome. I love the size on him, the scale. He's always been depicted as just a huge monster of a man, so I'm really happy that we got him. And I've been trying to find some better villains to pose with Daredevil as well, so I'll probably have him with Daredevil, to be honest with you, on my shelf. But regardless, like I said, that is it for the review. If you like this review, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more content just like this. Aside from that, thanks for watching my video, and have a great day.